to adjust the camera a little bit, but good morning, everybody. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host for the Dawn Patrol. We go from 6 to 7 a.m., 7 to 8 a.m. is City Life, because there are some of the towns on the bottom that will pick us up at 7, and some of them are for the 6 to 8 o'clock time frame. Sam Chase.
Only Lowell.
Only Lowell?
Only Lowell goes at 7?
You said Chester starts at 6.
Everybody
7.
starts
Yes.
at 6.
Yeah, everybody starts at
Everybody
6.
but Lowell. Lowell doesn't care.
Okay, well, that's up to Lowell.
So we got 5 towns. Yep.
Yeah, so Sam Chase is my co-host this morning. We were kind of hoping that Bob Hoey would come in,
that
but
would be
he
nice.
still has some health issues, and we're still praying for him, and we hope that he gets better and that. We have John McDonough behind the camera, and every so often we'll have questions and conversation. We don't really have a guest schedule this morning. We do for next week and the week after, and then we have Thanksgiving, and then we have... So we're doing pretty good as far as, people from Chelmsford. Vivian Merrill will be coming in, and also Paul Cohen will be coming in, and then we'll take a look at what's going on in the month of December. Lots going on, but nothing going on. One of those kinds of things. There's always plenty of odds and ends that's going on locally. We did have quite a few elections locally. I know that John has the results of Lowell.
Oh, good. Because I couldn't
and
find that yesterday.
And also, there's a number of other Massachusetts cities and towns that had elections. And
New York had an election.
And obviously, and we're going to talk about New York, among other places in the country. And I really want to talk about this gerrymandering thing, but I don't want to talk about it right this second. I want to kind of lead into that. I think it was I'm trying to think of how cool it was this morning. It was like 45 degrees or something like that, or 42.
When I left.
Where I was and coming in. And it was a little chilly last night. See, I don't like the heat on, and I like the window open and be under an electric blanket. So it was a little bit cooler than I had.
Do you put your electric blanket on early?
Yeah, so that everything's nice and
Oh,
cozy.
yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
How long do you give it?
15 minutes.
I leave it on all night because when I have nobody, I got to have some kind of warmth.
No, F.
I only have one blanket.
F. Do you
Yes.
turn it on early?
Yeah.
How early?
Oh, about 10 to 15 minutes before I actually get in because I take the shower first.
I give mine 30 minutes.
That would be
30
an
minutes?
interesting question to ask, to do a survey.
The blankets wear out, at least in our experience. So after about 5 or 6 years,
China will send more.
they don't. They're not.
They don't work?
No, they're not. They don't work. But it degrades gradually. Okay, so it takes a while to notice it. So my wife replaces them about every 5 or 6 years.
I haven't had it that long.
Yeah.
I bought one
So-
for the house we have up at the lake, but now it's a queen size.
It's great. Electric
And,
blankets are great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I don't have to turn the heat on for a long period of
And
time.
you leave it on all night?
No,
I do.
I warm it up. I get in and I shut it off.
Yep, that's what I do.
Yeah, I don't do that. I have it on all night simply because I have no other heat in the room. I can have more heat in the room, don't get me wrong. I just choose not to. And then we had bought an air conditioner that apparently also is a heat pump, and it does work, and it gives off a lot
And
more
that's for your
heat.
bedroom?
There's one in the bedroom, and there's one, we have like a walkover area from one part of the house to the other. And when you have that on, then everything, if we put the fan on in reverse, then all that heat goes downstairs. But I did put the heat on, and I told Glenn we're going to keep it on, some of it on anyway, to maintain more of an evenness within the house, so that if we're not there, I have 3 huge aquariums, and when I was turning the heat down,
The fish are cold.
then the fish are cold.
Oh, you can't have cold fish. That's
And
no good.
because the heaters can't keep up with it, because it's 30 gallons, each one of those. So I said, well, it's easier for me to do it this way, then I don't have to think about it. And that, because when the kids were growing up, I didn't have those kind of tanks. But when the kids were growing up, they'd go to school, I'd turn the heat down on the second floor, and if I went out anywhere, I turned the heat down, and then if I came back, I had a sweater or whatever it was. And that, but when they got home, and after dinner and everything, then I turned the heat back up again. So we were only doing that. When we first got married, and we moved out to Ithaca, New York, for Glenn to finish a PhD at Cornell, it was electric heat in the apartment, but they had dual meters. So it was cheaper to run everything after 11 o'clock at night. So the dishwasher ran, the heat was on.
Yep.
There was a whole lot of other things that occurred. And then during the day, then everything got turned down because it was far more expensive, because we were on a very limited budget at that point. So
Well,
it's kind of
a lot-
interesting.
It's a lot cheaper to, when you're constructing a residence, it's a lot cheaper to do electric heat than it is to do a traditional furnace, boiler and/or hot air furnace.
Right, but then you have to talk about operating expenses.
Well, right, but of course now I think the codes are the same, but I remember when I was a kid, the insulation codes were different. If you had electric heat, when I was in high school, there were no codes for insulation. You could build a house with no insulation. In fact, there were people who were very firmly convinced that you were better off because of the air exchange, right? That argument. But if you had electric heat back in the late 50s or early 60s, at least in Concord, the local building code required, I think it was a minimum of 3 inches in the wall and 6 inches in the ceiling. But that was not a requirement for anything else. And the insulation codes really didn't start to get fully implemented until the mid to late 70s, when the energy prices started to go up, and then the building codes were revised. But yeah, so they always had, the electric houses always had to be more insulated, from the beginning, because of the cost.
Yeah, the house that I was brought up in was forced hot water. And so that was,
Yeah, that's the best heat.
it's the best. It doesn't dry out as much.
Actually,
Steam's the best.
yes.
Yeah, but I don't have steam.
You're absolutely right.
Probably the most expensive, but steam's
Yeah.
the best.
We
Still have one steam over at
Did-
Mahoney's.
yeah.
Mahoney's is still all steam. Oh, it's beautiful.
I grew up with steam radiators in the house, the coal burning furnace. My father did not switch to oil until I was a senior in college. We had coal in the house, and we had steam radiators, and we were never cold. That's all I can tell you.
Well, I was
So-
brought up in a small ranch, and it was forced hot water. And my father I think he kept it at 70 year-round.
Yeah.
But he didn't play with it too much, and it was oil. And part of the reason it wasn't gas was because we were on ledge, and there was no way to get the gas
Well,
in.
when you were a kid, the gas was about twice as expensive as oil.
I don't remember that.
Oh, it was much.
Because I was a kid.
Well,
I wasn't thinking about
I
that.
remember the conversation because my father, we had coal. Like I say, we had a coal furnace in the house. When I was about 5 or 6, my father needed to replace the furnace, so he had to make a decision: do we stay with the coal? Do we go with oil? Or do we go with gas? Because we had the gas service at the time, and at the time, the ratio was oil was twice as expensive as coal, and gas was twice as expensive as oil. So for my father, it was a no-brainer.
Right. Well, everybody was
we kept-
far more conscious of
We
the
kept
finances.
the coal, yeah, because it was a lot cheaper. But by the time he got rid of his coal furnace in '69,
A good year.
the coal company told my father, they said there are only 25 homes in the town still burning coal, and my father was one of them. Right? And so he changed over to oil, and which I thought was a mistake. I told him he should go with gas, but he for some reason wanted to go with oil.
So
But,
Glenn's,
yeah.
where Glenn grew up in Arlington, his one of the grandmothers obviously had to have had coal, because you could tell in the basement, where they would just dump the coal
Oh, they had a
into
bin.
the basement.
Yeah.
So, and the other grandmother, we knew they had coal, and when, I don't remember how many years it was before his aunt died, they replaced the boiler. And I don't recall if it was oil. They went to oil, because I don't remember tanks, so maybe it was gas. But they had to replace whatever it was because it started to leak.
Mhm.
Water. They had the radiators. And
Right.
and so that was something that the
That's
old
what- yeah.
radiators, and some of those radiators were like 4 feet tall.
That's what we had, steam heat radiators,
and
beautiful.
so they replaced all of that, and when they did, of course, there was asbestos, so they had to have,
Oh, yeah.
remediation and the whole 9 yards. But I thought that was kind of interesting, where coal chute was just under the front porch. So that was those two places.
You would open up your basement window,
Yes,
and they would put a chute right down into your bin.
Yep.
I used to love that when I was a kid. We had a 10-ton bin, which would last a whole year. We did the furnace and we did the hot water off the coal, and I used to love it. Whitney Coal and Oil, and they would back that truck up, and I'd watch that. I just thought that was great.
if I had known we were going to talk about this morning, I
Oh,
would've-
yeah. Oh,
I have-
boy.
I have- I do
remember that
have-
so clearly.
I do have some visual aids.
Yep.
So my grandmother died in 1965, and they had oil heat, but that was converted from coal.
Mhm.
And my mother talked about how they had the coal, and they also had wood burning stoves, the wood stoves.
Yep.
And so my mother talked about how somebody would sift the extra pieces of coal so that when you cleaned out the ash, you were keeping whatever was left over that had volume, that had mass to it.
It depended on what kind of a coal furnace you had. So if you had an older furnace that burned the bituminous coal, which was the big, soft chunks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
And,
I only saw the
well,
results
that's, our
after the
first
fact.
furnace was that way, and it was a hand-fired. So when my father replaced the old furnace, I was about 7 or 8 years old. I remember he went to an automatic stoker, okay? So you had your coal bin, and you had a pipe going into the coal bin, and it had a corkscrew worm drive in it. And when the thermostat called for heat, the
It would pull it in.
motor would turn on, and the corkscrew would pull
So
the coal.
you didn't have to stoke it yourself.
Exactly. But it required the anthracite coal, which was the small pea coal.
Yeah, it had to be enough to get through the pipe.
If you had a bituminous furnace and you changed your ashes, you would do what you're talking about. But the anthracite coal burned hotter, okay?
And also faster.
And faster. And the ashes, because that was my job. I used to have to change the ash bucket. I hated that, okay? And it would be typically once a day, but if it was a real cold day, you might have to do it twice.
So I have
Yep.
the coal sifters.
Yep.
They're about like this round, maybe
Mm-hmm.
about between, I would say 12 and 15 inches across. And then it's
Yep.
a very heavy metal steel.
You just do this, right?
And then
stuff
you'd
falls
put
out,
it in
right.
there, and then you could do that. And
Yeah.
I have ones that have wood, but I don't know what that would be for, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to have anything hot.
No.
But if I remember, I'll have to pull it off my shelf, because I didn't get those, I don't remember, didn't get those from any of Glenn's relatives. Those came from my cousin, who lived up in Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire. So, anyway, so that's all about, the coal. My mother used to talk about, having the clothes get warm, hanging them near the stove and all of that. And my mother's still living at 104, and hopefully I'll get to see her. I've been really so busy. It's really been tough.
In the wintertime, my mother would hang the clothes, because you couldn't put them outside because they'd freeze, right? And she would hang them in the basement in the winter, but it was not a good situation, because again, we had the coal heat, and you had some coal dust, and it wasn't the cleanest.
No, they did the best they
situation.
could.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Ringer washing machines
Yeah, we had one of those.
the other night, and my grandmother had one of those
Mhm.
when I was growing up in the basement, and that's how they did the laundry, and then they'd hang it out on the line.
Mhm.
And I know my father had one, and he had caught his hand in it,
Ouch.
and so one of his fingers was all gnarled up when he was a little kid, because he was feeding the clothes in it, and he got it
Well,
stuck.
I told you
so.
the story about Mrs. Fitzpatrick. We won't repeat that on here, though.
So
Yes.
Can't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nervous habit.
everything is very sensitive to
Right.
to
No,
sound.
just the microphone.
Well, these new microphones are very, in addition to looking really nice, they're
It's
very,
sleek.
they're very, very sleek. They're very sensitive.
Glad you like them.
So we know from watching Facebook that some people are diehards. They don't turn the heat on regardless until November 1st.
I don't get it.
It was too cold several days. This was like one of the first years I didn't fight it to turn the heat on, just to take the rawness out of the house, and we'll see how much my gas bill and my electric bill will be as a result of this. We heat the other house with oil, and we're doing pretty good with that house, so we'll see how that goes.
Let me ask you about this. We don't turn the heat on. Now, as you know, I very rarely post anything on Facebook.
Yes.
But about 2 weeks ago, this thing came on about turning the heat on.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on there and I said, very short, and I said, I don't get it. I said, is this a form of virtue signaling? Is this a badge of honor that you wear because you don't? I said, I don't understand why people brag about not turning the heat on. To me, if I'm cold, I don't care if it's the middle of May. I'm running that heat. I'm sorry. Okay, that's just the way I feel about it.
The other thing to ask is how
Yeah.
old everybody is.
Well, that's a
because
good point.
if you're younger,
You can
you
tolerate.
you should be
Right.
able to tolerate cold more unless you've been
Mm.
coddled. And the older that you get, that's why my father,
That's true.
probably the last 20 years of his life, he died at 100, that it'd keep the heat.
He cranked it up.
He
Yeah.
went to 72.
Yeah.
So he would always have the heat like that. And my mother we didn't have any air conditioners because my mother couldn't stand the cold. But my father liked it cool, and also it was healthy because you could breathe. But I mean, there was a battle between the two of them as to who was going to have the windows open and who was going to have the air conditioning on.
Yeah. Well, now
The
you
last
bring-
20 years of their
You
lives.
bring up okay, my dad's house in Belvedere has
Oh,
a
let's talk about
small
icebox.
door in the back hall that was used for delivering ice blocks for the ice chest. Okay, DW, I'm 78 years old, and my grandfather died in 1956. I was 9. He never had a refrigerator. He had an old-fashioned ice box. And my aunt, my father's sister, who lived with my grandfather, it drove her crazy because she wanted a refrigerator. And I don't think my grandfather had been dead 3 days, and my aunt went out and bought a refrigerator. But I used to ask my grandfather, I'd say, why don't you have a refrigerator? And his answer always was, well, what's the Iceman gonna do? If I buy a refrigerator, he said, that guy has to make a living. What's he gonna do? That was my grandfather's answer. So his theory was, we have to keep the Iceman going, okay? Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yes.
So,
An era gone by.
but I can
Technology.
but I can remember him getting, and there were others, very few, I'm sure, that in the mid 1950s, I think probably 99% of the households had refrigerators.
Now, did his father before him reject electricity?
No, well,
Or did he embrace electricity? You're talking to your great-great-grandfather.
my great grandfather. Well, my grandfather was born in 1874, so they did not have electricity until he was probably about 20 years old. They would have been electrified around 1900.
He was not yet a decision maker. His dad was.
Yeah, so my great grandfather, yeah, they did have. When my grandfather was around 20, my great grandfather did have his house electrified. But my father was never in a non-electric house. I mean, he grew up with central heat and electricity.
My dad didn't. My dad grew up
If
on
you
a
look
farm
up
in
at
northern Indiana.
That chandelier,
Pardon me?
that chandelier is gas and electric.
This one here?
Yeah. You can see the gas jets every other chandelier piece.
We didn't have any of that. Now, I don't know if in
When
my
we bought the
grandmother's
house, it was
Does-
still operational.
Does the gas work on that?
Ellen and I had to disconnect it because we were afraid the kids would turn it on.
I
'Cause
do
it's
not.
It's pilotless. You have to light each one.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and that's dangerous. I do not recall that my grandmother's house had gas. I know they had electric, and I know that it was hot air in that house when they converted from whatever gas was, and that it was huge. Granite blocks was the foundation of that house. Glenn's grandmother's house, one grandmother's house, well, actually, I think both of them, in Arlington was fieldstone. Their basement was fieldstone.
Well, there's still
But I don't-
plenty of those around.
I don't know because I wasn't born. I mean, when they sold the farm in northern Indiana. My parents weren't even married at that point. And
Living in sin.
no, they weren't. But the farm that my grandfather had,
The what?
my father's father, ran a farm in northern Indiana.
How big was it?
I don't know, 275 acres.
That's a good-sized farm.
And somewhere I got deeds. I haven't read them. That would be interesting to bring in, that I have the old deeds from his father. And his father
Are they written
died.
in cursive?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have indentures that are.
Didn't have typewriters then.
Yeah, well,
Best
anyway, what
penmanship
is it?
you ever saw.
My father's father went to college. He started a dairy business. His father died, and his mother talked him into going back to the farm because he was a white-collar worker. And when he went back to the farm, that was his death. Basically, he didn't last.
he didn't like the farm, or,
No, he worked himself to death
yeah.
in order to make it work.
There's
Why-
always a lot more to do on a farm.
Right, and then when
Not just a little bit more, a lot more.
right,
Well-
and then his mother moved off the farm somewhere, and when she died, her only 3 living grandchildren got nothing out of her estate. She gave it to somebody else. So she was a very ornery old woman, and
She was very what?
ornery.
Ornery.
Yeah,
She didn't like you.
I don't think she liked my grandmother. She was very mean-spirited, by what I hear. But my grandfather did die in the late 40s. But what he did, however he did it, was he was the only farm that had electricity. And he created a battery situation of some sort. I don't know how he charged it. I'm certainly sure it was all chemical.
Could have been windmills.
I don't know. I never asked my father the details of it, for whatever reason, or maybe I did and I don't recall. And the older that I get, I might start to recall all that stuff because that's what happens
That
when you
must
get
have been
old.
tough, because those old lead-acid storage batteries were you're talking.
Well, anyway, he had lights in
Yeah.
the barns.
Well, good for him.
And
So he was
and
way
the-
ahead of the game.
He was way ahead of it, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. The other interesting piece, not that anybody needs to know this, but he sold his dairy business to his uncle, and his uncle made millions off of it for how he had it set up. So I could have been more wealthy, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here today if I was. So there's all reasons why things occur.
So if you were rich, you wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't probably be born either, because just the way things were. My parents met during World War II.
There's a reason for everything.
Absolutely, and
You
I
may
think
not see it at the time, but later on, sometimes you see it, right?
Yes, sometimes you never know.
Right.
Sometimes things go by and
That's
you're
right.
like, I wonder why that happened that way. That's why I would encourage people that if you have short fuses and you're trying to get out of the house, or you're trying to get someplace fast, or you get delayed in some capacity, you may be delayed so that you avoid an accident of some sort. And so just, kind of plan accordingly so that you don't have to hurry through the day.
I'm just reminding the audience, if little Evelyn or little Sam is getting dressed for school, it's a good day to drive them. The
It's
wind
chilly.
is
It's
really whipping out there today, and it doesn't feel like it because you're inside and you have new windows, but it's wickedly windy out there. Looks like it's coming out of the northwest.
Well, it's supposed to, the wind, according to WCVB this morning, their weather, the wind is supposed to keep up
Did
during
you
the
hear that
day.
remark? They called it Cindy instead of windy.
Oh, I missed that. I might not have been
They
watching.
were
it
joking
then.
around with her this morning.
Yeah.
and they
Well,
called it-
she's
It's Cindy out there this morning. I mean windy.
she's. I like her.
Was there a feud going on there?
Was there what?
A feud?
Cindy was grumpy for like 2 weeks.
Was she?
I don't watch any of that
And
stuff.
then they had the beautiful one there,
Well, all the women are good
No,
looking.
no,
Kellyanne Schickley's.
Kellyanne Schickley,
Yeah.
she is supreme. She's got that beautiful long hair.
But they have the best weather of the Boston channels, I think.
And then yesterday, Cindy had her hourglass figure on. That must be some underwear underneath you that does that.
Jeez. Well, I'm not going to talk about
I think
undergarments.
I like her, and I'm glad that when Harvey Leonard left, I'm glad that she got the chief meteorologist job, because it could have gone to Mike Wonkum, because he had the seniority. But, I think
They want people to watch the station.
Yeah.
Females have a tendency to draw.
There was
they're-
rattling in her cage. I'll tell you, she was Krabby Doodles for about 2 weeks.
But they were,
Then she disappeared for a long time.
everybody.
Well, maybe she had surgeries. Who knows? She
Yeah.
has an hourglass figure. And that's only,
That's just my take, my
A
personal
judgment call.
take.
Who-
Please
you don't
continue,
know.
Sam.
You're never going to know, because those people, they're very private. It's hard to get
yeah. And
it's hard
it
to
doesn't
get
affect
personal
me any, and
information on them.
if that's something that
Yeah.
somebody wants to do, that's up
Right.
to them to do it. I mean, it's just an observation.
You
Well, I
can-
had one friend that worked at one of the TV stations, and when he pushed away, he had to sign a disclaimer that he would not talk about the inside politics
Right,
of his
right.
television
They're
station.
very, very proprietary.
And they're like, wow, you can't, no. They're anal about it. That's okay.
They are.
I don't wanna
because
know.
it's all about image with those people, okay? So they have to be careful.
So you also have to be careful, and if Bob was here, he would confirm this. If you're doing construction outside and you have high wind conditions, you have to be very careful being on roofs and ladders.
Yeah, this is not a good roofing.
So
day.
we had high winds. I think I was at the lake Tuesday morning, and very high winds. And they were supposed to do some work on the roof, and they said, we're not going up
No.
there.
No.
Because it was gusting quite a bit, and you get a certain gust and you lose your footing. I mean,
Well, your product blows away too.
It does.
it can, yes. So they were supposed to be putting ice and water shield on the roof, but they didn't. So we'll see what happens today, because I told Glenn to move the cameras around. So there is progression with that particular project. And since we are talking about weather, we know that there are storms in the Midwest. I think that Seattle and different areas of Washington State were supposed to get a foot of snow.
Ouch.
It's been snowing consistently, I don't mean like every day, every hour, every minute, on Mount Washington. So when we have any rainstorms in New Hampshire, if it goes in that direction, it is snow up there. And so if there's anybody, thinking about wanting to climb Mount Washington for any reason, make sure that you're well prepared,
Yeah.
because it was either last weekend or the weekend before they pulled 20 people off that mountain because
Yep.
they were not dressed accordingly. It might be nice at the foot of the summit, but at the top, it is not.
It's a tough climb regardless. I mean, have you ever climbed Mount Washington?
No.
Yeah, I've done it twice, and it's not,
I did Monadnock several times.
it's not,
Only by car.
it's not the easiest.
I think we
thing
did
in the
that
world.
once by car. And then we went up, just to go up. A long time ago when the kids were little, we did that. Yeah, the webcam. So this is the webcam streaming.
I gotta shrink this up so it fits on
Now,
your
where's
screen
this?
there.
Is this?
Mount Washington.
Okay, White Mountains, all right.
So we're gonna see observation. This is the.
Oh, beautiful.
Live. Oh, we're going to see live.
Oh yeah, look at
Well, it's
this.
frozen.
Look what they got.
doesn't
No,
look
it's got ice on the lens.
Yeah.
Well,
So we'll go back.
guess you can't do that.
The observatory tower cam. We'll see what happens here. Ah, there you
There
go.
it is. Yeah, it's cold up there.
They
It
got
must be
snow up
snowing.
there. Snow on the lens.
So, the first time I climbed Mount Washington, I was in high school. And we're about a third of the way up, my friends and I said, I got to stop and rest, right? So we're sitting down, and I'm feeling a little winded and tired. And while I'm sitting there, here comes this woman, and she had to be 100 pounds overweight, and she's got this,
I mean, she was a chunker.
yeah, she was a chunker, and she's got this
She's never heard that
backpack on
term.
her that was probably at least 60 or 70 pounds, and she's beelining it right up the thing, no problem. And I turned to my friend and I said, you know what, if she can do that, I can do that. I don't need a rest anymore. She made me feel very guilty that I had to stop and rest.
This camera's
Yeah.
off what they call what's called Wildcat, and you can see the wind blowing. Can you see the snow
Yep.
blowing
Oh,
on the
yeah.
bottom?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Now, where's that?
Wildcat.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It'd
It's
be
coming.
interesting. Maybe we'll take a drive around if I have any time.
It's coming.
With regard to that. So you have all of this weather coming. There is, for all our more liberal friends out there, there's new information that science is taking a look at with regard to climate change. And in doing the analysis, one of their bottom line, their can amount, is climate change is not due to what's in the atmosphere, it's due to what's going on in the oceans.
well, to be skiing up and
Now, that actually makes sense to me.
Well, that does, because
Yeah.
because when you have El Nino and whatever,
Mhm.
all the different things, it's what's happening as far as what's over the oceans. People can argue all they want, I really don't care. I'm just saying that there's
Well-
another, I don't know how many pages it was, 26, 28 pages. I didn't read it all.
Again, it's
But
not.
it talked about
yeah.
the small percentage that of what the carbon dioxide is with the effect
as
on
you
the
can see, this is
planet.
from Mount Cranmore.
That's in North Conway, New Hampshire.
So that's looking down in the valley there. So as you get down lower, it's not as snowy.
Right. And also they're making snow, so that because it's cold enough,
Oh,
so
this
people
is
that
gonna be
ski
good.
will end up having more traffic
Mm.
going up to New Hampshire because people will
This
take
is the
advantage
Cog
of the ski.
Railway. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Mount Washington.
Mhm.
And it's
And
precipitating
in
as we
good
speak.
weather, if people want to take the Cog Railway up to the summit rather than walking or driving, you should be making reservations in advance, and I think it goes up twice.
Disregard this, the date on it's June.
It
June
says
11th.
June?
6/11,
6/11/25.
It's buffering, so this got
Yeah.
problems with that camera.
That's not good.
So
That's a nice shot.
Well, that may not be June, because you can see,
And I'll try this last one.
this is kind of cool. being
Clog
able-
up the tracks. Ooh, now, is this current, live?
Let's see what the camera
Look like it
says.
says April.
Uh,
4:10.
No, that's the time. It's this one here we're supposed to look at. Can't see it.
Can't say whether or not that's
No.
today, but I'm assuming that it probably is.
Kinda blurry.
Could be this past week, because there was
Cold.
rainstorms that went through.
Well, I got the
So much for
snowblower
the
out
webcams.
yesterday
That's the
and tuned it
webcams.
up, and we're all set to go.
Yeah, Glenn will be doing all of that and getting it up on the
Yep.
on the front porch and organizing all of that stuff.
And
Maybe
just,
not this weekend, but the following weekend, and that we'll have to wait and see how our schedules work out with regard to that. So when
For you townies who care about the election yesterday,
Yes, I was going to
We'll come
ask
back to
about
weather.
that.
A couple of minutes.
Okay, what do we got here?
No, Evelyn was going to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to talk more about the weather, but we'll come back to the weather. I have some other things to
So
say.
this is from the,
This is as final as we can get.
okay, from the city
Currently.
clerk, okay.
No. This is from Teddy Panos,
Oh, okay.
Lola Live or something. I forget what.
Well,
they
he
call
must have got, all right, so what are we looking at here?
it. So
We're looking
uh,
at some
in the city council race yesterday, Vesda Noon trounced him. He came in number one.
Oh, wow, look at
43
that.
4,300 votes.
All right, so,
And then behind him was Eric Gitchia with
Yeah.
4329.
Yeah.
Then Rita Mercia, 3,782.
all right, so were they all re-elected?
Yes.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5
No,
counts.
there weren't five. Kaufman didn't make
Kaufman's out, so we
it.
have,
Duplessis, he didn't make it. Six though, he didn't make it.
all right, so 3 of those 5 are in.
The three incumbents stayed,
Yeah,
yes.
Getcher, Mercier, and
Vesda.
Vesna. Okay, so 4, let's see, 1, all right.
And then the next one, school committee at large, Connie Martin and Danielle McFadden. Danielle McFadden trounced everybody with
I
3,900.
figured Danielle would do well, yeah. So it was 2.
And
So
Bobby didn't make it, neither did Zodazico.
Well, he did better than he didn't finish last anyway, that's good, all right.
And then the nail biter that they're all talking about in the media is Dan Finn lost to,
Oh, wow, that was close.
yeah. And,
Well, they're thinking about a recount. I did forward an article.
no, the media's thinking about a recount.
Right, but
The biggest story this morning is Finn is thinking about
Yeah, well,
having
he
a
should.
refund.
But I sent you whatever the link was. You probably already had it anyway on Facebook. That it was the article that was talking about having a recount.
Well, my takeaway from that article was he's thinking about.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got district?
And then we got Wayne Genest, he unseated, no, I'm sorry, Sean McDonough unseated Wayne Genest.
Okay. Do you know
And Sam,
McDonough?
Sam,
Yeah, he
grab
was
a-
on this program when you weren't.
Sam, grab another microphone.
Oh,
Turn that on its side.
On it like
I'm
this?
not hearing you no more. Just shut them off, turn them on the side, so I know that that's the dead one.
Let's turn this one on.
Yeah, you'll be good,
All right.
And then turn the other one off and lay it on its side, please.
Well, how do you know it's off if
Like
it's
this.
dead?
Well, I punched
That's
it.
okay, leave it. It's good enough.
There we go. All right. So yeah, Sean McDonough, I thought was on this program
All right, I
with
missed
us at one point.
All right,
Yeah,
I missed
he
it.
was.
Yeah.
But
So-
he won big time yesterday.
So what do you attribute that to? Janess was the incumbent, right? He was not well-liked, or what was the story there?
Well, I think lackluster performance.
Okay, all right.
And he was pretty much a downtown.
Well, now look at Kim Scott. Boy, she really, she did pretty well.
Yep, Sherry Barboza.
Yep.
And then we got Paul Rathayem, vice mayor, he lost.
Wow.
To
Sydney
Sidney
was
Lang.
on here with us.
Sidney
Yes.
Lang. Sidney was here, 2 weeks ago?
No, more than that.
Now, are you surprised at that? Are you surprised at that result?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I am. The only complaint I ever got about Paul, and I like both these guys. Paul, Cadillac of a guy, real first-class gentleman. There aren't many more like Paul. And but he was a yes man for the city manager. Whatever the
Okay.
city manager wanted, he.
All right.
That's what you asked. That was the only ingredient I could think of.
So also in speaking with Sydney on this program, and then the different things that you would put across
He had a
on
good background, I
announcements.
thought.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he had a lot of contacts,
Yes.
and his contacts had contacts. So all they needed was to get enough people out to vote.
Well, his whole professional life is working in the community. So, you know.
Yes, well, he's got the
Yeah,
connections.
and that really probably helped him quite a bit.
Well, the other big nail biter was this one here, John Dakota versus
Dakota's the incumbent.
Candido.
Yeah.
And Candido,
Oh,
he's a young guy.
he did pretty well, even though he lost.
Lives in his parents' house.
Yeah.
Rumored to be a socialist. He doesn't have a job.
Doesn't have a job. That's not good.
So, but still, he got 685.
Yeah.
He did quite well. So the youth, they look beyond all that stuff.
So, do you see any?
I don't see any trends.
Except for the at-large council, do you see any anti-incumbent sentiment there?
Well, I don't see, if Joanne sticks with this, I don't know if she likes the manager or doesn't like the manager. Wayne, this guy, Sean McDonough,
Yeah.
has no love for the manager, doesn't have any distaste for the manager.
All right. So you think the manager might have been sort of a referendum on the manager?
Kim
then?
Scott is not 100% with the manager all the time.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be.
And Lang, I don't know how he feels about the manager. And John Dakota, he's kind of a yes man to the manager.
How can you agree with the guy? I don't care how good the person is. I mean, we've had Paul Cohen in town since 2006, and I was on the board that hired him, okay? And I think he's a terrific town manager, but I don't agree with him 100% on everything. I mean, how can you? How can you agree with somebody? Do you agree with your wife all the time, John? No, you don't. You can't agree with
Sam,
somebody 100% of the time.
So, okay, you and Candy are sitting in the car.
Yeah.
And you want to go to Cobblestones for dinner. And she says, Sam, we're going to Fishbones.
Mhm.
Where are we going?
Well, I'm going to Fishbones because
Okay.
I like it better than Cobblestones.
Okay, so then I'll say, okay,
Bad example.
we have Wendy's and we have
Oh, God.
Burger King. Now, Candy wants to go to Wendy's. You want to go to Burger King.
Mhm.
Where are you going? Where Candy wants to go.
No, she would actually defer to me because She usually picks because I don't
Okay,
care.
most male-female relationships,
Yeah.
whatever she wants, I don't care. You want me to pick a place? Okay, we're gonna go to
Well,
Wendy's.
see,
It doesn't work, that doesn't work in my relationship.
See, and to Evelyn's point, what she just said, it all depends on the people. Now, as far as the things that my wife really cares about, she wants it a certain way. 95% of the time, I really don't care. It's not an issue with me. So, yeah, that's fine. But on those few instances where I really feel very, very strongly about something, and again, she would usually defer to me, and it's probably because 95% of the time she gets her way anyway and other stuff. So we don't have those arguments. And, I'm a kind of a person that puts things in perspective. There's small stuff and there's big stuff. If it's small stuff, I don't care.
Don't fight the small stuff.
I'm
It has a
not
tendency to
arguing. It
accumulate.
doesn't make any difference whether we go to Burger King or Wendy's. I'm happy. But when it comes to, are we going to redo the bathroom and spend, $20,000? That's a bigger decision, okay? So that's the kind
Well,
of.
if you do your bathroom over.
Well,
If you do your
when you
bathroom
talk
over,
about some of
Sam,
the bigger decisions,
Important
John,
thing.
Yeah.
Heated bathroom floor. Put
No.
a heated
we
floor.
talked about that yesterday.
Too much
at lunch.
money.
Sam,
Too much money.
it's paradise.
I'm sure it is. And,
You
well,
walk in there at
Yeah.
2:00 in the morning, visit, and you go like, oh, this is.
Well, I know all about it, John, because I've lived in 2 houses that have radiant heat, so I understand floor heat, and you're absolutely right, 100% correct. But when we decided to redo our master bathroom, it was going to be $2,500 to get the
Radiant heat.
radiant heat, and I said, forget it. So what we had, and even
Would
and
you
my-
do have something, electric on the wall?
My wife, actually, she agreed with that. I mean, she would have liked it, but she said that, no, we're not spending that. So what we have, because it's an older bathroom, we have heat lamps in the ceiling. But, and actually, they're pretty effective in a small area.
Not on your feet.
No, but the electrician came in yesterday, and he says, and that bathroom was done like in 1980 or something, so it's pretty old. So the electrician came in and he said, well, he said, I hate to tell you, but they're not making these things anymore. He says, you can't buy the
Units?
the bulbs. And I said, all right, well, what do you want to do? And he said, well, they have a new thing that is a combination light,
Heat and fan?
heat, and
I have that.
fan. And does it work well?
It's, the room's too big.
Oh, the room's too big. Okay, so we have a very small room, so I think this might work. And so I thought that sounded really good. And I said, well, this is better than the heat lamp anyway. So they put that in, and I'm looking forward to see how that works.
Yes, you have probably no more than a 9-foot ceiling or an 8-foot ceiling. And the bathroom that I have.
7, 8.
Okay, so the bathroom that I have that unit in, and we put it in 2003. I'm sure at some point we got to replace it, but I don't
Yeah.
use it a lot. And the ceiling is 10, 12 feet. So if you put it on, if you're in the shower, it's the heat, somehow or another. I have no idea how it worked, but the heat would go into the shower.
Really?
When you step out, it's colder. So it's
And the
a given-
shower's already hot because of the steam and everything.
True, but I
Yeah.
mean, when you step in the shower before you actually get in the shower, you can feel the
Yeah.
heat, and it's not from the water, because it doesn't happen if I don't have the heat on.
Well, she used those heat lamps all the time, and
Yeah, I don't-
and I never
I never
did.
liked them, but, so, I
So-
mean, I have one of those units, it does work, and it will definitely work in
Okay.
a small space.
Well,
So
that's
you
good.
should be okay.
Glad to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it sounded
they
good to
shouldn't
me.
be too pricey for you to put it in there.
Well, it's already in, so whatever the price is, that's what I'm paying.
Well, I was gonna say,
If
it
you-
should
and
probably be
again,
about a couple $100.
It's a contract job anyway, so.
It goes back to the big, if you're planning to redo your bathroom, spend the money and get what you want.
$2,500. forget
Heated
it.
floor. How much did the bathtub cost you, Sam?
No bathtub, it's a
Okay,
shower
so-
stall.
She comes in, my wife comes in, she says, I want a bathtub that does this, 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 and this. I didn't ask the guy the cost, I said, just give her what she wants.
Give her what she wants.
Yeah, see, we have the.
She has a
discussion.
chair in her shower. She
Well,
can
that's, yeah,
sit on.
we have one of
I
those.
She likes to sit on her chair.
No, I don't, I never wanted that. I designed the bathroom. It was a narrow space. There is a jacuzzi tub in it, and then they never put the heat in the
Do you use
jacuzzi
it?
tub.
Who's the they? We never put.
Do you use the
We.
tub?
I didn't know it until, I asked for it, and I didn't know it until after everything was installed. No, I don't use it very often. I'm lucky I take showers with my schedules. So when the kids come, the little kids come, they love to be in the jacuzzi shower because we put the jets on, and and it's deep, so you got to be careful you don't drown in the thing. But it is there so that I have a bathtub as far as
Now,
my house goes.
That's one thing my wife did that I wasn't keen on, but I'm glad she did it, and she did it for me, okay? So we redid our main bathroom 23 years ago. She wanted it had a regular bathtub and shower thing, not a shower stall. And she wanted the jacuzzi bathtub, and I said, what do you want that for? I said, and she said, it'll be good for your back. And if it had been up to me, I would have said no, but
Maybe I should tell Glenn to get in the bathtub.
But she was very, it's wonderful. So she was very insistent that I have this jacuzzi tub, and I kind of fought her a little bit, but then I finally said, okay, put it in. Figuring, well, what's the downside? It makes the house a little bit more saleable maybe when we go to sell it, right? Because it's got this jacuzzi bath. Well, I have to tell you, it's great. And you fill that tub with warm water, and you sit in there, and it runs on a 20-minute cycle, okay? And you can adjust the jets. And it really, if you have bad joints, bad back or anything like that, it really, really helps quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a few design
Very-
features I would change going forward. But anyway, so that's a bathroom. The big thing is to make sure that you have space in it, and the only reason we didn't do anything with certain types of heat was because someone else didn't want heat in the floor. So we have a tile floor and we have rugs on top of the tile, and that seems to be just fine so far. It's also over a garage, so it's definitely cold as far as that goes. But anyway, that's a little bit different as far as so we've talked about the heat and you've talked about that, but you did talk about compromises that you make with the other person that you live
The
with.
spouse, right.
Right, and I know that sometimes I'll be asked, so where would you like to go to dinner? And I'll say such and such, and they'll go, well, I don't know if I really want to go there. What the hell did you ask
Then
me
what you
for?
asked for, right,
And
exactly.
that happens a lot. That happens a lot. And
That's funny.
basically, it's like, well, where do you think you'd like to go? I mean, I'm not even going to, sometimes it's, there's no compromise. But
That's
most
fine.
of the places, we have similar tastes, so it's really
But you
irrelevant.
never wind up going to a bad restaurant, though, right? So does it really make much difference?
No, that's why it's not
there
worth
you
the
go.
fight,
Exactly.
as far as it goes. But there
Exactly
are
right.
restaurants that sometimes he wants to go to. The problem is there's very little on the menu I can eat. And so there
Yeah.
are certain things we don't do.
That's an issue.
We did go, there's a new Mexican restaurant in the Rochester Mall that's on Route 11. And we did try that.
Is it real Mexican or is it Tex-Mex?
I don't know the difference.
Yeah, well, what is the difference?
And so, basically, it was very good. For
Yep.
and it was a very large portion, and I would go back
We have a
because it
good-
wasn't overly spicy.
We have a good one in Chelmsford, right on Summer Street. Very good Mexican
We'll have
restaurant.
Glenn and I will have to start trying other kinds
Yeah,
of
no,
restaurants.
it's
We want to go
excellent.
to the one that's in Drake that John keeps referring to,
Village Inn?
the Village Inn. We want to try that.
Oh, you've never done Village Inn?
No.
Very good, very good.
We're not always in this area, but I want to kind
Yeah.
of branch out and do a little bit more.
Village Inn is good.
And I wish I could remember where my youngest son went. We watched the kids so that he and his wife would be able to go out to dinner. And they went to someplace in Salem, and they said it was fine. But the problem with the kids and myself, we cook. And so you critique the food. How good is this really on the basis of what can I do in my kitchen? And so, the proteins were fine, but everything else is like, I don't know about all of this stuff. So, food is one of those things that we could have, an hour discussion on what you eat,
Right.
why you eat it, why you shouldn't, and the
Well,
whole
part of
thing.
the restaurant experience, at least for me,
Well, I don't have to clean it
Because
up.
I don't have a very discriminating palate. I mean,
Well, you like what I cook.
I do, but you cook regular stuff, okay? And, and I'm what in the old days they would have called me a meat and potatoes guy, right? I mean, I'm just not. If you're doing fancy food, it's probably wasted on me, because I just as soon have a good meatloaf or a pot roast.
A good meatloaf's hard to find sometimes.
Oh.
Have you
Well,
had, I'm
I
sure
got
you've
two
had,
people who make, Evelyn makes a good meatloaf, and my wife makes a good meatloaf.
depends on moistureness.
Oh, mine's always,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, mine's, and I don't think I put the same stuff in it twice.
Can you guys do Italian?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't go out for Italian.
I love Italian
if I don't
food.
have to.
Well, I gotta tell you, out in Barica Center, there's a place called Manja Manja.
Yes, I've eaten there. Yeah, very good.
Like eating in heaven.
Yeah, very good. Good
Oh,
restaurant.
my God. I took my wife, one of my friends, John and Jillian, we go out to dinner once a month. And he picks one month, I pick the next, and he brought me there. Out of this world. So
I'm surprised you'd never eaten
the
there
other
before.
night, Ellen, they've had, well, probably like 20 years ago I did,
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't as memorable as it is
Oh,
now.
probably totally different ownership,
So
I would
Ellen and
guess.
I, the other night, I said, well, you're not cooking, we're gonna go out. So we went out to this Manja Manja. She'd never been there before, and absolutely loved it. And I come up with a line for them to use in their logo. It's plate licking good.
So what
That's how
did you
good it is.
order?
What'd you have?
First time I went, I had linguine, which is fat spaghetti with meatballs. And then I had lasagna, because my friend John, he had lasagna. Oh, my God, out of this world.
There's nothing like a good baked
It was
lasagna.
cheese lasagna with one meatball and one sausage.
Mm.
Oh, it's enough for two,
What did Ellen
if
order?
not 3 meals.
What did Ellen order?
Don't remember.
Fish
So-
and chips. No.
Yeah. So when I would go to an Italian restaurant.
Oh, yes, I do. She got some, like a fried thing that was,
Calamari?
no, it was like cooked little biscuits with meat inside of them.
Oh, gnocchis.
I don't know what they called
They
them.
were fried. You
She
had,
loved them.
You had,
Yeah, you
you
could
had
fry
fried
those.
ravioli.
Yeah, you can do that, too.
Maybe it was fried ravioli.
Yeah.
She loved it. I didn't try any. Not my cup of tea. And but mine was over the top good.
So what I usually will order if I go to one of those restaurants would be something like veal masala
Mhm.
or chicken. I eat too much chicken as it is, but I mean I would order something that does not have a red sauce on it,
And
because
something
with
that you
acid
normally
reflux.
wouldn't prepare at home. That's what
Well-
I do when I go to a restaurant.
Yeah, I get
You
something I don't
that
eat.
you don't normally
And then
have at home.
sometimes there's
Right.
lobster ravioli. You've got butternut squash ravioli.
Yep, that's good.
There's a number of things that you can get, but you also can buy all of that stuff fresh at Market Basket or Stop and Shop and do your own thing.
Well, very often, if we go to a restaurant, I will ask the waiter, what plate always goes back empty?
There you go.
And that'll make them think a little bit.
It's an interesting question.
The waiters, waitresses, they like to recommend.
They want you happy.
Yes, exactly. And my question to a waiter or waitress is, when you eat here, what do you eat, right? And that,
Right.
yeah. And then
So-
they'll,
Well, I do that with toast. What kind of toast would you like? I says, your favorite. And that's what
There you
sometimes I'll get toast I don't care for, and I go, oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody's got a different palate, but they also have a different way that they react to the food. Kind of like yesterday, your reaction to whatever they put in
Yeah,
the meat.
they had soy in the sour dressing for the broccoli, which I did not detect in the taste, but it was enough that I had an allergic reaction to soy. I can't eat soy. I shouldn't eat. It doesn't kill me, but
Why would they put that in the vegetable?
They didn't. They put it in the meat.
Oh,
But
okay.
when
it was in the meat. You think?
yeah, because they
They said it was
advertised
in the
it.
broccoli. I thought.
There was nothing on the broccoli at all. There
That's
was
what
no
I thought.
salt on the broccoli. There was no salt, enough salt for anything. But we'll talk about that because
some people can't
after
have
the
salt.
break, we'll just continue talking about some food. But we want to talk about some of the stuff going on in Chelmsford, locally. We did talk about the local election in Lowell, but we haven't talked about some of the reactions that are occurring nationwide and some of the different things that people are accusing other people of. I'd like to talk a little bit more about New York City, and then I want to talk about the gerrymandering that I think is going to be the next battle, and we can talk all about that stuff.
What were we talking about our lunch yesterday at the Drake and Senior Center?
Looks like they gave you enough anyway.
Yeah, well, they get an A on.
And you think
on
the soy
portions.
was in this stuff?
Yes, it was. Because it was nothing anywhere else.
Was
What's
the
that on
garlic
the-
in that too?
So you had brown rice, you had broccoli,
Okay,
and
that's
that was the
rice.
peaches.
And then the roll, right?
And a roll, but there was no butter with what
butter.
we had. However, when they gave out another
It was yummy.
container, and
We'll
it was
be
a whole
back.
wheat roll.
The
Thanks.
broccoli does look overcooked, though.
I'll be back.
It must.
Welcome back to City Life. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I'm your host for the next approximate hour, or 59 minutes and 27 seconds or something.
No,
Minus-
42.
Minus announcements,
Yeah.
whatever they take.
I'm your host this morning.
Anyway, and Sam Chase is my co-host. Bob Hoey hasn't come back yet, but we wish him well.
Yep.
I think he's still having some, medical
Looking forward to
issues.
seeing Bob.
Yep, and so maybe he'll
Talked
be
to
our
Bobby
guest.
yesterday, very energetic.
Good.
But still, he's down in Boston every day getting this test done, that
Is
test
he?
done. So.
Well,
Runs you
that's
ragged.
sad. Yep,
Oh,
it does.
It's awful.
It's very tiring.
Having to do daily medical stuff is
Yeah,
terrible.
well, so far I haven't had to do that, but we'll see. And I don't think, even with my son having a certain disease, that he's not doing that either. So,
Oh, he's
and
done,
didn't.
he's done very well.
yeah, well, it's been a long time.
Right.
So, and he's still with us, which is excellent. So, not to be on depressing notes.
So any hot news in Chelmsford?
Well, yeah, we were going to talk about that,
Hot
and
news.
we're going to come back to weather, and we're going to come back to cooking at some point, especially, because I did bake, so whoever's out there listening, I did bake something. And we'll talk about a variety of other things with regard to that. So, Chelmsford. I was at the Permanent Building Committee meeting Tuesday night. We had the program managers and all the different, the architectural firms and everything showing us Engine 3 and Engine 5 in Chelmsford, the
Okay,
two
these are
fire
the
stations.
Two fire stations that are planned.
Yes, and they're trying to do them collectively, because in volume there's savings.
Do them at the same time.
They did say they were going to do some geothermal.
What decisions are you making about the firehouse?
It's new. We're expanding them, and so
How
the
are you
decision.
expanding? Going to put another truck in there?
No, you got to renovate what you have, and you have to have living space.
The standards for a fire station have changed over the years, so we
I
have
wonder if
to,
that's online.
we have to bring them up to the current,
Well, you just built the
Standards.
fire station, didn't you?
We built the center fire.
central fire.
Because the
head-
other one was
next to
falling
town
apart.
hall. The one next, you can call it, name it whatever you want. The one next to town hall, you
Yes,
just built that.
yes, because the original one was over on Route 4 by the Common, and that was falling apart. It was falling in.
Yeah, it was next to the church, same area. as
Sort of,
church.
yeah. And then They
And
added.
it wasn't big enough also.
Right, it was tiny, it was from the
Yeah.
50s. And then the one that they call Engine 2, that was Engine 1 you spoke of. Engine 2 is North Chelmsford. That was the last one that we did. And
That was a renovation and expansion.
that's correct.
Right.
Because they wanted to be able to drive through. And then they wanted to be able to have the
Well,
right kinds of living space.
Right.
And so they did that up there, and we had some issues with the siding. This was all during COVID, so we're not sure whether or not
That's been fixed.
subcontractors
Yeah.
were shoddy or they weren't, but that's all been fixed as far as the outside goes.
I'm just
Engine-
gonna show you the front page of Lowell Sun as Evelyn's
Okay.
babbling over there. Go ahead, Ev, continue. You can keep going.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So anyway, so Engine 3 and 5 are next. 5 is in South Chelmsford, if anybody is not aware of that, and 3
On
is...
Route 27.
Yes, on Route 27, on your way down to Acton, and 27 winds way down. And the other one is up by Roberts Field. So that one does West Chelmsford, among others. And then, but the one on 5, Engine 5 is extremely small. So that
So you have
small
5 engines?
5
fire
firehouses.
stations.
Don't you
Yeah.
have one over by St. Joe's Cemetery?
Yes, that's 4.
Yeah.
And that's
What do
relatively
we
good-
call that firehouse?
that's
Feathery
engine-
Station or something? You guys have these weird names.
No, we have numbers. So
Engine 4.
that's Engine 4.
Engine 4.
Oh, of course, everybody knows that, Engine 4.
So they're not going to do much with that because they said they didn't need to for some reason. I haven't been out there, but I'm certainly sure it'll come up. But anyway, as far as where we're currently at, I had a timeline where they're going to try to get a lot of stuff done before the end of the year, but they won't go out to bid. I think it won't go out to bid until like February. But what I can do is I can get up and I can get my timeline that I wrote down when I was at that meeting. So they talked about that. There's not any new information with regard to the schools. We do have a Parker Middle School project that has been accepted by the state initially, and they're in planning stages.
But if everything goes the way it should in terms of advancing toward building, doing the school project, your construction isn't going to begin for at least for another 4 years. Is that right?
Schools, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Somewhere I have those notes also.
Yep.
As far as the fire stations go, that ought to happen within the next 2 years to have it finished. So
So
that's
what are you putting in, more bedrooms or better bathrooms?
On the
What do you-
firehouses?
Yeah.
yes, everything is being upgraded, and also even the bays are
Are
being
you getting new
upgraded.
beds?
Well, one thing you
Yeah.
have to accommodate is the fact that we have female firefighters. So those,
Well, in Lowell, they all have their own bedroom.
okay, but, that the
Last time I checked, most households only have one bathroom.
the current firehouses, whatever the standards are in place, they do not accommodate the current standards for having
standard. That's
female
A
firefighters.
trick word.
Right, and the other,
That's a trick word.
Well,
for, we're going to spend money, but we don't have to.
It doesn't matter. You have to comply with
No,
the
you
with the
just-
rules.
It's not a law, it's a standard.
Whether you agree or disagree, you have to comply.
It's not a law.
So,
So she's gone off, running across the room to get her notes.
I think which of the two of the current stations is more derelict? I mean, they're both,
Well, you can go into Lowell firehouses,
Out of date.
and they're way below standard. There's no law, Sam. If there was a law, the union would force it. We had trucks, we had the wheels falling off the trucks at Lowell. And the union still made them drive their trucks.
well, what does the union say about it? Do they complain?
Falls on deaf ears. Drive the truck, you're lucky to have a job.
so in the schedule for the fire stations, there will be a meeting at the planning board on the 12th, this is November, and then they will meet with the Conservation Committee on the 25th, because there are wetlands
On Acton
near,
Road.
well, there's wetlands
Oh,
on
also
3.
on 3, right, you're right.
So they're concerned
Yep.
about that. They're looking at occupancy in 2027, the end of
Okay.
2027.
Well, that's not too far away.
And they have applied for any and all grants that possibly they can use. So that will offset the costs. They always do that. They did that with the other ones. And they can apply and they can initially be accepted, but you don't get the money until everything is finished and
Okay.
built, because they have to inspect it to make sure that it meets their criteria. There's no radiant heating, and they will have certain amount of remediation with regard to each of the facilities. They're working with the abutters, especially in Station 5, because it's such a tight space.
It is, that's why they have to have 2 stories, right?
They have to go up, they
Yeah,
can't go out.
exactly.
And they can't have a turnaround because there's not enough space.
Not enough land, right.
So, and then the way that they've designed some of the second-story windows is that even though they might look out over the other house, they've put like a blind in, so that, I mean, you have a window, but you can't see the other house, but there's light that can come in. So they're very cognizant.
What about screening? Did they
Well,
talk about
there's a lot of
trees and
landscape,
stuff?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
There's arborvitae, there's trees, there's shrubbery, there's a lot of, and a fence.
Oh,
So
okay,
they have
yeah.
an 8-foot fence on one side, I think he said, and a 6-foot fence on the other side.
And this is a result of the abutters' input.
It could be that, or it could also be, this is what the landscape architecture has designed for privacy
I tell you, in
purposes.
Lowell, we wouldn't do any of this stuff. We'd just hire more of our friends.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but on Engine 3, they're gonna put solar panels on, they're gonna try geothermal, there's a lot of different things that they're gonna try for alternative
Who's the
forms of
they?
energy. The people that are building it and the town is looking
Geothermal,
into, optional, and maybe they can do it there, but I don't know that they can do it in 5.
One of my
Excuse me.
neighbors, believe it or not, one of my neighbors just did geothermal.
Was it expensive?
I don't know, I haven't discussed it with them, but hopefully at some point I can have that conversation, because not that I'm gonna do it, not at my age, forget it, but I mean, I'm just
It's
interested.
a summertime conversation.
Yeah, I'm just interested in.
He or she won't have any input this year.
No, you're right.
Just gotta, I love it. And when you find out it costs you $1,000 more, you go.
I don't think it's cheap to do, okay, but it's not something when you're almost 80 years old that you invest in, okay? That's something that you do when you're
Well,
35.
if you won Powerball.
Right.
If you won Powerball, you do it, wouldn't
But
you?
you don't replace all your windows in the house when you're 80 years old.
If you won Powerball, you would.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know about all of that. So anyway, and we did have the presentation, I think we talked about it last week, as far as the schools. There'll be another one coming up in November. I don't have that date, but you want to take a look. It will be on the school website. And there's another option of going and voicing your opinion in December. So that's the
that's good.
Parker Middle School. I did learn something about that, and if you're getting reimbursement from the state, and that may have had something to do with why Lowell's High School is on the current property versus having it somewhere else in the city, is that your reimbursements change with regard to tear downs of old buildings if you have a different location than if you're on site.
So
Of that.
So do you think Lowell gets more state money if they do it in place versus building another building?
Well, that's what they told Chelmsford, so
Okay,
I would
right,
imagine
right.
it does apply to Lowell.
Okay, all right.
It would be interesting to have John, he has different guests in other times,
Well, let's-
to ask the city council whether or not that was a consideration of having the location of the new high school on the old location.
I'm sure
so
it
that
was.
they would
There
save
was a
money.
big feud. The feud continues through today.
I understand.
I
It was going to
understand,
be in
but-
Belvedere.
Right, but if you go to another location and you want to tear down the old high school, it costs you more money
More money, right.
than if you build the new high school
Oh,
on
no,
that
we were going
location.
to put housing in there for the homeless.
You still have to tear it down.
No, we don't. It's got
Well, it
good
depends
bones.
how bad it was. Anyway, so
Those
that
crazy
that
stuff,
was the
Evelyn.
permanent building committee. Tonight we have an Arts and Technology Education Fund committee.
Oh, is
We
it
had-
tonight?
Yes, 6:00.
Does my wife know about that?
I'm hoping.
I'll
I
remind
need
her.
to. I need to have.
Well, actually,
a
she's
quorum.
watching, okay, so you can tell her right now.
Yes, because I can come pick her up and then drop her off, and then I have to do something else. But the Arts Technology Education Fund If anybody lives in Chelmsford, you get a real estate tax bill or an excise tax bill. You have a tear-off where you can make a donation. This goes directly into the fund. You have to make sure that you notate on your check how much money you want to give to the Arts Technology Education Fund. They can't just guess at it.
Nope.
You can increase your tax bill, like rounding it up, and make sure that you notate that that money goes to that fund. If everybody did that, would be rolling in dough, but
Yeah, if everybody rounded up, say 30 cents.
yes, it's better than what we're doing
So
right
you
now.
have-
Sam, people are sitting out there, here's Sam and Evelyn, I have a good idea. Let's give the government more money.
Well, this is
That's
a
a
little,
good idea.
Yes,
No,
but
it's
this
not.
doesn't-
You're silly.
but this doesn't
They
go.
blow every dime you give them.
This doesn't go.
Well,
to
we
the-
don't. We have saved enough money that we have put it into CDs so that generates enough.
Spend that. Don't ask me for more. Spend that.
I can't spend that because
Why?
it's making more money so we can
Well,
give out more
John,
awards.
the difference
Because
is-
once it's gone, it's
The
gone.
difference is, this isn't compulsory. If you want to contribute, you can. If you don't have to.
So when you die,
Okay.
put in your will the town of Chelmsford.
There you go. But
You can.
still, you're giving people a choice. They don't have
This
to
is a
contribute.
donation.
It's a donation.
It's tax deductible, just
Right.
like your real estate tax bills. And the money goes into a fund, a separate line item,
Right.
that this committee will put out applications. They review the applications, we have criteria, and then we make awards up to $1,000, depending upon what it would be requested. And we go through a very thorough investigation of whatever the application is. We're very careful about it. And the other thing is if the people that have the award want to have another one in the future, they have to fill out a project summary sheet telling us how they spent the money. So we need to know that. And we have several checks and balances to make sure that there's nothing happening. And if they purchase items, they become part of the Chelmsford Public Schools. So because it's taxpayers' money, it's staying within the system.
Right.
It doesn't go with the teacher. The teacher makes the application, but they don't own it.
But the point is, if you are a taxpayer, you do not have to give money to this thing. That is
No.
a personal choice. You decide.
But I have to, since I'm
Right.
the chair, I advertise for it. I don't personally gain by it, and I've been there 29
Right.
years, so, on this particular committee. But anyway, we're meeting tonight because we had town meeting, and we changed the bylaw for the application process. So instead of having it restricted, like it has been for the past 29 years, it's now a little bit more open. So we can have 2 application cycles in the same year. It has always been a complaint of some that when you got the award, you only could spend it in the next fiscal year. So this, we're doing it a little bit differently, and it also is for clubs. And again, we're careful about following the criteria for being able to give money to the different aspects.
That, I
Chelmsford Public
I
Schools.
liked that aspect, the change, that you could, some of the money could go towards the clubs. I thought that was a good change.
Well, we did have, over the years, we had members make some suggestions. We did a major redo of the bylaw several years back because there were new people that had no clue what we were doing, and when we went through it, they asked different questions. I said, well, let's just change it. And so that was approved. The process, when we do have something like this go to town meeting, and this is everywhere, if there's a bylaw change, a zoning change, whatever it is, it goes to the Attorney General's office in the state of Massachusetts, and they have to approve it. It takes about 2 months or 3 months.
That's any warrant article, not
Yes.
just zoning or
Well,
AT.
true, but a lot of people think of it in terms of whatever's written. But they have to approve everything at the state level that we have voted on at our local town meeting. So that's a process, maybe some people don't know what that would be.
Oh, I'd say most people don't know.
Most people don't know a lot about what goes on with government.
Well, the thing is, as somebody who's been in government now, in local government for almost 30 years, in different capacities, and I talk to people all the time about this. And I'm not criticizing people, it's just that if you haven't experienced a certain thing, you don't necessarily know how it works. Doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means you don't know, okay? But people are under the impression, generally, I find, that the people in the town leaders, have all this power and all this discretion, What they do not understand is what Evelyn just said. Almost everything has to be approved by the state. So if we sit in town meeting and we have a warrant that has 30 articles, and we vote all those 30 articles, okay, any kind of a change, the budgetary stuff is generally not is exempt from that. But anything else, it has to go to the Attorney General. If they reject it, it's null and void, okay? So in Massachusetts, the cities and towns are really creatures of the state legislature. They really are. So, people think, well, the town manager can do this or the select board can do that. Maybe, okay? It's a lot more restrictive than you think. And I didn't know that until I got on the Finance Committee back 25 years ago. I get on the Finance Committee.
The FinCom.
And I find out that we don't have all this discretion and we don't have all this latitude. Stuff has to be approved by the state. It was a real eye-opener, okay? A lot of times your local officials, however, contribute to the confusion because they act like they can do all this stuff on their own when they really can't, because it's just human nature. People get these jobs, and a lot of folks are very good at it, but some folks just like to act like a big shot, okay? And they pretend like they can do all these things when they really can't. It's subject to the jurisdiction of the state. So that, I find, is generally a disconnect that the public has. They really feel that, a lot of people I talk to think that the town manager, for example, has an awful lot more power than he actually does. That's just what they think, and
Well, and some
You know?
people think that he doesn't have very much, and that the select board is the ones that
that's
runs
the other,
everything.
that's the other side of the
So you
coin.
can go to one
That's
extreme, or you can
correct.
go to the other
That's
extreme
correct.
with regard to
It's
that.
Evelyn's favorite time of the show.
This is
That's Lowell.
Lowell.
No, this is Chelmsford.
Oh, this is
Oh,
Chelsea.
really?
Yes, the Chelmsford food.
Let's put the glasses on so I
Okay,
can see.
so today is
Oh, yes, here we go.
November 6th.
What do
A
we have
day that
today?
will live in infamy. And that indicates that if you go out to Chelmsford Senior Center,
Teriyaki.
you get chicken pot pie with, no, that's the 10th, that's next
Now,
week.
you're looking at the-
Teriyaki
yeah.
chicken,
We tried that.
You had that, yeah, you guys had that
That's
2 weeks
yucky.
ago, right?
I wouldn't do that.
Broccoli,
yucky, ugh. Yeah, skip it. If you're going, I would
I
consider.
wouldn't go there.
Let's see, the other
so
alternative's
much for
Lowell.
that, right?
Now, we got here is,
All right. That's Lowell, right?
This is Lowell?
this is
What are they
Drake.
having?
Oh, this is
Oh,
Drake
Now,
it?
Drake it, you
Pot
have,
roast,
Drake it, you have to register a week ahead of time.
pot roast. There
And
you
you gotta get your name in there. Evelyn,
Okay.
we went to there yesterday,
Was-
and so I walk up the counter and the girl at the food station says, "What's your name?" So I tell her, "You're not on the list."
You're not on the
I
list.
says, "I put the order in for," and she says, "You're not on the list." Okay.
Administrative screw up.
Thank God Sam didn't come because I said, "Okay, I'll take Sam Chase's food."
But my name was on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she said,
and
"Let
so
me
was
look."
ours.
And I wasn't even there. How do you like that?
So
Okay.
Sam Chase, I ate your food yesterday.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
And so today, being the 6th, they have pork roast, creamy mustard
Oh,
sauce,
it's
mashed
pork. I thought it
potatoes,
said pot. No, pork roast.
salad, Vienna bread, and chocolate pudding.
That sounds good.
Everything sounds good.
I love pork roast.
This is Tewksbury.
Yep.
Tewksbury usually has the same thing. as
Looks like
Drake.
they're having pork roast.
Yeah, same thing. I think they bring it on
Yeah.
a Meals for Wheel truck, but that's
There you go.
same thing in Tewksbury. Tewksbury, you got to make a reservation to go out to Tewksbury too.
How much in advance? Is that a week?
A week.
I'm going to call today and talk to the gal. She's very kind last week. Are you coming next week, Sam?
The 13th?
And what do we have on the 13th? American chop suey?
I think
Pasta.
I think I have medical appointments.
The garlic roll doesn't
Yeah.
tempt you? Okay, fine. No Sam next week. So I will make a reservation. Do you think Glenn will be coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they have
Are you
pork.
coming, Evelyn?
Okay, so everybody except Chelmsford is having roast pork, it looks like, today.
Now, in Lowell, they're having roast pork, yeah.
Mm.
Loin, mashed potatoes. No, Chelmsford had that chicken stuff.
Right, everybody except Chelmsford is having pork, it looks like.
Chelmsford, yucky. You know what? Maybe that's last month's. No,
Pork is,
yes, November.
Pork is the meal of the day, except in Chelmsford.
Chicken, Chelmsford. I'd be heading to Lowell. Lowell, it's tasty. Plenty of room out there. No reservations. Just scoot in there. Get
Well,
on
that's it. You can just walk in.
Around 10:30. If you want to make a donation, go right ahead. Otherwise, you can eat for free. But bear in mind, Veterans Day.
How do they do on donations, do you know?
closed.
No,
I mean,
I don't know how, you would have to ask.
That was a big secret. I would when I was on a board out there. Then they kicked me off the board. I lost the election, and I would ask them. Well, first of all, they have 150 grand they're never going to spend, and they're crying. We got to make more money.
what's this, the senior center you're talking
Yeah.
about? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got 150. They have plenty of money. They're just never going to spend it. And I would say, well, how much money did we take in? Oh, we don't. We'll get you that number. We'll get you that number. They always give me a political. I'll get you that number. And they think I'm not coming back next month. Never found out. Never found
Okay,
out.
so anyway, so these are the
And it's
things, and we're gonna talk about
cash.
food when we finish
It's
this.
cash. You'd think they'd be more careful with cash.
Yes.
What do you want to move right? Oh, everyone wants to get
moving
back
on.
to talking.
Time for announcements, right?
This
that's what this is.
it. We don't have any.
Oh, okay, so.
Oh, these are the announcements, okay.
Here's
Yep.
a cool thing. If you want to retire your flag, you got a tattered flag. Bring it to Lowell City Hall. You win the front entrance, get to the top of the steps, immediately on your right-hand side, you're going to find this flag box. Put it in here, and you can retire your flag right there. And now we're going to talk about food, Ev. Close this window.
Yep, so you wanna go to the picture.
That's
Sun's out.
Chelmsford. That's
Looks good.
Chelmsford. This is
There's
Lowell.
your standard milk, right? Everybody has that.
Yes,
rid of
everybody has
this.
the same milk.
Here is yesterday's delight from Drake.
Yep, so we went to Drake It yesterday.
Drake
And-
Senior Center, right on Mammoth Road.
Yes, a limited amount of parking. There were, by the time we left,
They do a great business out there, parking-wise. Tons of people.
well, there were a lot of people in and out of there, and they had a small exercise class ahead of lunch, and they have a library, and there's different meeting spaces there.
But it was hard. It was hard to find a parking space when
Yes.
we got there. When we left, there was plenty of room.
Right, so they also, it was very clean, and bright.
Friendly.
Yep, everybody was friendly. We found that in all of the senior centers. We haven't had any problems with anything. I've been in the restrooms at 2 of them, and they were very clean, smelled great, nicely decorated.
Yeah.
And so, as far as the food goes, this is the most food so far that we've had.
It looks like a pretty good portion.
Because Chelmsford wasn't too bad as far as portion.
Well, the first roll came in a sealed plastic thing, so that was good.
Yep, and it was whole wheat.
Oh,
Broccoli?
even better.
Broccoli was nice, went down good. This rice with whatever they have on it, beef, I liked it. What did you think?
It was brown rice. It was fine. They
I
put a
thought
little
it
bit
was
of gravy
white
on
rice.
it.
What are the other things on the rice?
That was part. They used the gravy out of the beef stuff.
Oh, I see, okay, so you had a little bit of that. on
Yes,
there,
so
all right.
that's what's on that.
Yep, all right.
And then that was peaches.
That looks like a pretty good portion of meat. What would you say in terms of ounces? Make a guess.
I don't know, 6.
That's a lot.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but
It was yummy.
it was
Yeah.
fine.
That's a very
I'm not-
generous portion.
I'm not a meat eater. I mean, if I
Yeah.
want to eat meat, I want a steak.
And
That's
the
a-
milk was great.
The milk was great.
So that wasn't
1%.
too bad. So now, if we want to make a comparison, because you have the other pictures, you can see the comparison, just run the other 2 pictures by.
I gotta make them the same
Now,
size.
that's Lowell,
This is Lowell, yeah.
Yeah, that's low.
the chicken sandwich,
Yes, and the
Which-
chicken was very moist.
chicken and cheese.
Shrink them up so they can all fit on the same
Right.
screen here.
Generally speaking, I don't use the cheese, the American
Yeah,
cheese.
that's Lowell.
That's Lowell,
The salad was very good in Lowell.
and this is
That's
Chelmsford.
Chelmsford. Now, isn't it
Now,
interesting?
portion-wise,
Yeah.
Drake has got them all beat.
Oh, without a doubt,
So far.
without a doubt,
Why won't that?
But how many people would you say was
especially on
there?
the meat.
20, 30?
Disappointed. I thought Drake had only had 20 people there.
Yeah, but there was some people that
Lowell
dribbled
had
in.
like 60, 80 people.
Oh, yeah, but, and Lowell was in a much bigger area also, so.
Well,
the
yesterday, when I
sizes-
first started to get on the board over there, only half that room was food. The other half was jazzercise or exercise or jump up and down size. And now it takes up the whole hall. Fantastic. They do a fantastic business for
Anyway,
food.
so senior center, since pretty much the demographics of many of the people that watch us are over 65, from what I can
Yeah,
gather with some of the stuff I do.
Yep.
So you can kind of see, and you can go to any of these because they're all government subsidized, but please recall,
You don't have to be
what
a
we said
resident of the town.
earlier is that,
Leaning into the microphone.
what we said earlier was that Dracut and Tewksbury do require that you do sign up.
Yeah,
Lowell,
tell them the name story, Ev.
the what?
What happened, Drake, it yesterday about the food? I wasn't on the list.
Oh, yeah, and you gotta make sure you're on the list, because if you're not on the list, they're not giving you any food and
The guy,
drinking.
the guy who made the reservation wasn't on the list.
Yeah,
Figure
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't get it.
Now, in Chelmsford, they would like you, because if you take a look at the websites, they request that you call in that you're going to come for lunch. Okay, so even in Chelmsford, they did that. I called, and the girl goes, well, it's not a high-volume day, so, just show up. But on a high-volume day, like near a holiday or something, or maybe a Friday might be a high-volume day, I don't know. So they all would like you to have reservations, and some of them are mandated. So we'll see how Tewksbury goes, because that John and I and Glenn will probably go out to Tewksbury next Wednesday, and then we'll see how that goes, and then
Now,
we'll take pictures. and-
Case-wise, what would you say is the winner, Evelyn?
Of the three?
Well, it's hard. I
hard
don't
to
like
compare.
the meat thing, but the sauce was fine out in Dracut. In Lowell, I thought I liked the chicken,
Yeah, that was good.
and in Chelmsford, I liked the salad. So it just depends.
Well,
To
let's-
me, I think Dracut was the best, portion-wise, taste-wise.
There you go.
Lowell, very tasty, but skimpy on the portions.
Skimpy.
Chelmsford, I wish I skipped that. I would tell anybody going for this food today, go to Lowell.
Well, we're gonna go back to Chelmsford
Skip it.
and see if the same thing
Give them
happens.
another, give them another
Round
shot.
two, we'll give
Yeah,
them
we'll
another
do
try.
a round two.
I did like the Lowell salad. I thought that was really good.
Right, but see, I liked, well, you didn't taste
See, this
Chelmsford.
is Lowell,
Yeah.
this is Dracut, this is Chelmsford.
Right,
And next
and
week we're going to
I
Tewksbury.
I liked the salad that was in Chelmsford, because it was wet.
And
And
for our friends in Tingsboro,
Plus, it's in a
they don't
separate
have lunch.
bay, which is good.
No lunch for you. So,
right, so,
when the
but
manager, when
anyway,
the
just
manager
make
comes
sure
in, I'll
that
ask him.
you sign up a week in advance for all of this stuff. And that's.
Not Lowell, just walk in, baby.
Walk in.
Right,
In fact, they ran out of food the day we were there. And they get up on the microphone, in 7 minutes we'll have food.
yeah,
And they did.
yeah, and I think they had something different, because what we had was different than what they advertised.
It's okay.
Oh, really?
But it was fresh.
Yes, it tasted really
Oh, my
good.
God, it was,
So-
yeah, it was a good time. So, it's free, you can just make it's a donation. Every place you go, Chelmsford, Dracut, Lowell, it's a donation.
Yep, good.
No obligation. So back to you guys.
That's a good deal.
So anyway, we have, what I wanted to do was just briefly, I mean, I had some articles that I saw this morning. We were talking about the weather. Weather's going to get cold. You got to winterize certain things. So if you have, you had your snow blower, you're going to have to make sure that, it's in working order in advance. If you have a generator, you want to make sure that you start that up, that you've changed the oil, that there's no water in the gas tank, that
I
everything
change
is lined
the fuel every year on the generator. I
Right,
drain
so-
out the gas and put in new stuff.
Yeah, so anyway, so there's all the little things that you have to do. I would also make the suggestion that, because we don't know what kind of a winter we're going to have, so in advance of the possibility that we might have a blizzard at some point, I would make sure that you have extra water in advance so that you're not running to the grocery store and there's nothing left on the shelves. Make sure that you've got batteries if you need batteries for something, there's a little thing that we use sometimes if we have a dead battery. It's called a gulu, and that also has a place where it's a heavy-duty battery, and you can charge your cell phones on it if you need
Can you
to.
jumpstart the car?
Yes, you can. At some point, you have to recharge it. It's not very big. It's only about this big.
Yeah,
I should
those are
bring it
cool.
in.
So
Yeah,
with Christmas coming, consider that for Dad and Grandpa.
right. Or even if you have a brother or an uncle.
Or if you have
Or a
an aunt,
boyfriend.
if you have a grandmother like Evelyn, you can get her that Evelyn likes industrial.
Anyway, so I
industrial
just wanted
gifts.
to, make sure, and then you can have, there's a variety of other things that maybe you would want to have in stock, just to make sure that, and a lot of stuff won't go bad. You want to just make sure that you have enough stuff so that you're not panicking, going to the grocery store to buy eggs, bread, and milk. They also have milk that are in, cardboard containers that's processed that will stay a year on your shelf. And so you may want to have something like that.
You mean
and then,
powdered milk?
Nope, liquid.
Liquid?
And it's 1, 2, and whole.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you can also buy, if you want to have almond, soy, and coconut milk, and oat milk and everything, it also is there, and it is found where you have cake mixes, and I think coffee and tea. It's along that particular aisle. There's also sweetened condensed milk and evaporated milk that is on that aisle too,
Well,
that you can also purchase,
yeah.
because that has a longer shelf life than if you buy it out of the dairy case.
We will obviously get some bad weather and snow, and again, I think,
Sorry, Sam.
yeah, go ahead.
So, Ed, what do we have today?
You have zucchini bread with craisins.
Craisins?
Dried cranberries, and then there's a cinnamon apple glaze.
Nice,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's good. Yeah, I have that. To me, the most important thing, unless you have it, look, 'cause a lot of people hire their snow plowing done, but if you have a snow blower, for example, don't wait until the day it snows to get out there to see if it works. And people say, well, that's obvious. Well, I look in my neighborhood, and that's what people are doing, okay? I mean, the first snowfall falls, and they pull the thing out of the shed, and it hasn't run since the previous March, and then they get annoyed that it won't start. So this, right now, is the time to get your snow blower out and make sure that it runs. I did mine yesterday, and what I do is, when I put it away in the spring.
Even if you have electric, get it out there, make sure the
Yeah, I
battery's
would,
out
yeah, absolutely. There's
Yeah,
no
because-
guarantee, just because it's electric, there's no guarantee that it's gonna run, okay?
Right, or if you have
You
an
wanna-
electric shovel, you
Yeah.
want to make sure that that's going to run too.
Test everything.
Now, there's a
Right.
couple of other things too. Sometimes people like to have snow melt, but you don't have to purchase snow melt. If you go on the internet and ask for a more natural way of having stuff.
You have to be careful with that stuff, because it'll eat concrete. Some of it will.
Yes, the
Yeah.
snow melt will. But you can make a solution of alcohol and a few other items, and then you can spray it on the sidewalk, and things will melt. So you want to check and see what you can do for that. It's kind of like weed killers. If you happen to have brick walkways, you would use vinegar, a couple of drops of Dawn dishwashing detergent,
Works
a
well.
little bit of salt that you'd have dissolved in
Yep.
water before you add the vinegar to it, and you spray that, and it's going to kill the weeds, and it's a natural product, and there's no side effects as far as your health would go, rather than using a chemical, an
Right.
inorganic chemical weed killer. So there's a lot of things that you can use. You can even make your own, what do they call it? It's like Clorox 2, and you have the spray thing, and you can make your own Clorox 2, and it doesn't cost you an arm
Well,
and a
be
leg.
careful of a product that says ice melt,
Yeah, because it's
because that can be considered sunshine. Read the label, make sure you're not buying salt. Why
Well-
don't you want to buy salt? If you have bricks, it's going to eat the mortar. You have cement, it's going to pit it.
It's acid.
right. And so
What I get
it creates
is
a base.
Right.
calcium
It
chloride.
creates lye.
Doesn't bother the bricks mortar, doesn't bother the cement, calcium chloride.
Right, but you also have to make sure that if you have animals, that you have stuff that is pet friendly, because it'll get on their paws.
Stupid animals will die.
Anyway, we don't want stupid adults either. So that's one of the things. Now, the other thing that a lot of people may not think about, but I mean, I do in Chelsea, and obviously I do in New Hampshire, mice. Mice like to come in the wintertime. If you have anything, a gap anywhere that's larger than, I would say, 3/8,
They'll come in.
instead of a quarter. They're able to get into very small spaces. So there are a number of things that you can do. One, you can take a look at where you have any types of gaps, and they do sell expandable foam. You have to be very careful of all of this stuff. There's different cautions for usage. They have it so that there's a pesticide in it. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. If you have wires, or if you have pipes or anything like that that's coming up from your basement, there's always a hole or a gap, and they can come up through that, and you want to seal that. Now, your electrician should have sealed your electrical wires with like a red caulking material, and that's fire retardant. So you can also seal around copper pipes with that too, and any PVC. Or you can do the expandable foam. So those are things that you can do in order to fill spaces. There's also other types of...
Also get a cat.
You could. Well, I had a cat and it didn't work. We still had mice in the garage.
Really?
Yes.
You had a stupid cat.
No.
He died eating the ice melter.
And she never caught anything.
Did she eat ice melter?
No. So
They were probably overfed. That's why they didn't go after the mice.
Well, I don't know about that.
Keep your cat a little bit on the hungry side. And
I
they'll
have
go
an
after the
electric
mice.
mouse trap.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
So there are other types of repellents that you can use that are natural. There's peppermint, cloves, canine powder, hot pepper, and peppermint and cinnamon. And so when I put the cinnamon in my garage, I had a whole lot less anything. And the other thing that also repels, it will also repel spiders. They do tell you to spray around your foundation, going into the fall, and do it maybe once or twice a week. You spray it with vinegar because that smell, spiders don't like it, and neither do mice and other small creatures. So there's a number of things you can do that's very beneficial. So that's the mice thing. Now, to get to the election. So we have a communist that was elected for New York City.
Wait a second.
Transition real quickly. Yes?
So, you have a ineffective method, and you use Dawn dishwashing detergent to kill your mice, and you're wondering why you have mice.
I don't use Dawn dishwashing detergent to kill
That was
my
one of
mice.
the ingredients you talked about. Sam,
Yes,
how do you
but
kill?
that had
How
to
do you
do
get
with
rid of your
killing weeds.
Weeds. She was
How do you
talking
get?
about weeds.
How do you get rid of your? Well, it's just
do I do
God
for
bless you,
mice?
information overload.
Is that your question to me? What do
How
I
do you
do
get
for
rid of your
mice?
mice?
Old-fashioned snap trap. Gets them every time. I kill them. Sorry, I know I've just offended a whole bunch of people out there, but that's what I do.
Well, that's
I
what the
kill
cat does too. The
I
cat
kill
kills them.
I'm not fooling around with mice.
And there's other ways you can get rid of them
Nope.
if you are
Very, very
if you're a
effective.
little bit.
And the best bait I
I don't know
find,
what term you would use.
you set the trap, the best bait is a little dab of peanut butter, and you put a raisin on top. They love that. And the cheese doesn't work, I found. That's an old wives' tale. A little bit of peanut butter, and it has to be a fresh raisin. Works every time. Very effective.
We have electronic mouse. My wife does not like mice. She doesn't like seeing dead mice.
Yep.
She hates it. So we found this electronic mouse trap. And it's fabulous.
There
Put a
you
little
go.
peanut butter in that puppy. Bingo, your mouse is
See,
gone.
peanut butter. There you go. They like the peanut butter for some
Well,
The
I
reason.
don't
trick
know what
is
that
you
is.
have to take it apart, take the battery out, and I spray it with Dawn dishwashing liquid. I put it in the dishwasher, and I wash it in the dishwasher.
There you go.
Then I put it on the vent, let it dry for a day. I put the battery back in and put some more peanut butter on it. Oh, works fantastic. And you don't see the dead mice.
Well, that's good.
And I give the mice a burial at sea. I dump them in the toilet, and that's it.
Okay, but anyway, so what I have
Everybody-
done is work because I'd rather not have to catch any dead mice. I'd
Dawn,
like them
Dawn
to go
dishwashing
away.
liquid. Thank you,
Yeah.
Evelyn.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of different things out there. There's a lot of stuff on the web. And as far as any of the spices, you can buy them by the pound. They're cheaper by the pound on Amazon. And I have used all kinds of stuff like that. Cloves is a little more pricey than cinnamon, but it does work. And it's not something that you just do and it's good for months and months. I mean, the odor does dissipate after a while. but it does repel other types of animals too that are very sensitive to smell. So that is my tip of the day. Maybe I should have tips of the day. That would be something to add.
Sam, this is the baby right here.
There you go.
That's
What do you
the
do?
electronic
Ultra.
mouse trap.
Do you?
No, I don't want more information. Thank you for asking. And I got this over to Home Depot for like $15.
There you go.
Or maybe it was, what's the other one called? The other hardware store. And
Lowe's.
works great.
Well, that's good.
How many do you have?
2.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I figured we had to throw them away. And then one of my friends says, no, take the batteries out and toss it in the
Wash 'em.
dishwasher.
There you go.
And that gets rid of the dead mouse scent, and they go right back in there, and
Perfect.
works fantastic. Back to you guys.
Okay,
Now-
so that's the mice thing.
So you
Now we're
want
going
to
to go
talk
back
about
to
the
elections.
elections. All right, so you're talking about Mondami,
Yes.
who
So-
was elected, got more votes than the other 2 candidates combined.
Yes, he did.
Well, he motivated people.
He's New York City's choice.
I think it's a mistake, but
And
there's
people
nothing
can
much-
wring their hands and they can cry, but the bottom line is,
He
as
won.
John just said, they ran an election, and this is people's choice. So now, let's see how it works out, you know? I
Well,
mean,
we had some guy who wouldn't take off his red hat. To this day, I don't know what the red hat was.
well, that was,
Why it was so important?
well, he's a part of the Guardian
I don't
Angels.
care. Is he Rotarian? Is he Catholic? Well,
Yeah, but
why doesn't he have a cross and
the,
a Rotarian button on?
because Sliwa is part of the Guardian Angels in New York City, and
Well,
that's
he
part
didn't
of,
wear a donkey representing the Democrats.
that's part of their uniform. That's why he wears it. So,
He looks dumb.
well, maybe, but you asked why, but that's why, because it's part of the
He's
uniform.
And I know they do good stuff, but it looked
Yeah.
dumb. And the other guy, he's a crook.
Oh, Cuomo, he's terrible, it was a disaster, okay?
So I'd vote the other guy too.
So,
No, I would never vote for Mondami. I don't vote for socialists.
So if you were in New York City, who would you have voted for, Sam?
I might not have voted.
and that's probably what people did.
Yeah, I
The-
would,
the
I would
prob-
not, I
the
would not vote
problems-
for a socialist.
Well, it isn't just that. It's kind
Hey,
of.
you guys got to babble. My fingers are too sticky to play with the
Yeah.
keyboard, so I'll be back.
Okay, so some of the observations was that he did appeal to a lot of younger people,
Mm-hmm.
and he promised a lot of free stuff, and nothing is free.
Hard not to vote for Santa Claus.
Yeah, nothing is free.
Right.
Okay, we're going to do this with wealthy people and that with
Mm-hmm.
wealthy people, but do they realize that wealthy people have enough money they can leave? And if he starts on all of the different businesses
Well,
and stuff,
that's true, but even if they don't, the myth, and we've heard this many, many times from socialist-type candidates, there aren't enough wealthy people to do all the stuff he wants to do. Okay, so the bottom line is that when these things happen, over time, average people are adversely affected, and this is what folks don't understand. But they'll find out. The other thing is, I don't think Mr. Mamdani is going to be able to do everything he has said he can do, okay? And I offer as an example President Obama. So Obama runs in 2008, and he ran on what some would say a quasi-socialist platform, all right? I can remember people in that particular election being interviewed, and the question was, well, why are you voting for Obama? And the answer was, he's going to give us money. You probably remember that.
well, he's going to give us free stuff.
He's going to give us money. And then the follow-up question was, well, where do you think he's getting the money from? And the answer was, we don't know. Maybe he has a stash. Okay, I heard that. I mean, I was taken aback. But this is what happened. So when President Obama ran the first time, it was a more socialist type approach. And what happened over time, and he had 8 years in office, as we all know, a lot of the stuff that he wanted to do or advocated or made campaign promises on, he just couldn't get done. Okay, he just couldn't, because that's the nature of our system. We don't have an absolute ruler at the top that can just say, all right, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And so a lot of people who voted for President Obama were very disillusioned and turned off, because some of the things he said we were going to do didn't happen. Now, I don't mean to pick on Obama, because I think this is true of just about every politician at the national level. They all do this. They all say they're going to do things. They all make promises. And sometimes some of those promises are fulfilled, but more often than not, they're not, because they don't personally, by themselves, have the power to get stuff done. I think one of the mistakes that Donald Trump made when he ran, and I understand why he said what he said, but he talked like, after I'm in office 3 months, all the prices are going to come down. Hasn't happened, because that's not how it works. Once you have inflation set in, now you've raised the base level of prices. Those in 95% of your commodities, those prices are never coming down. I don't care who's in office, okay? Because you have other factors at play, all right? And I think in this particular election, no surprises, because we're talking New Jersey, which is decidedly a Democratic state. It would have been a shock if Ciccarelli had been elected. And Virginia, which is very purple, okay, and a Republican at the constitutional level there, governor and so forth, is not common, okay? Those weren't surprises. And certainly Mamdani wasn't a surprise, because that's been hyped up for the last several months, I mean,
Yes, but the
and
socialist in Minneapolis did not win.
Okay, I did not know that.
I think.
Okay, so
I
that
think
was,
he didn't win.
What
I'll
I
have
heard
to.
yesterday was that was very, very close.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I can check that
But
this morning.
Minneapolis is another very, very politically left-leaning voter base out there. So it's not surprising that he would do well or even win in that particular case.
Right, but there was something
But
that I read this morning that I did want to.
This is our system. This is
I
our
wanted
system.
to share.
Yeah.
Pros or cons,
Mm-hmm.
everybody can take it the way that they want. There was an article that Van Jones, who's on CNN, and he said that the type of speech and demeanor of Mamdani when he was running and what his speech was when he won was two different personalities. And there's a lot of concern that I have, and I don't fit into a lot of the categories that they talked about during that election. But I would be concerned because you do have someone that's now saying, I'm Muslim, and all this other stuff. And I'm going, if Netanyahu comes, I'm going to arrest him and that. And I would be very much concerned if I had the same belief system or faith as Netanyahu and lived in New York
Well,
City
if you were
as to where it was
Jewish,
going.
if you're a Jewish voter in New York City who voted for Mamdani, I would be interested in talking to you and understanding why you voted for him.
Yeah, because he was right out there at the beginning saying, he actually wanted to get rid of you.
And
I'm very much concerned about that piece with
yeah.
regard to him.
So there must be.
But if he
right.
has changed his demeanor, because I listened to some of what that speech was, I only can listen to so much of everything anyway, regardless of party.
I can't stand any of them.
And I was very surprised. And then, of course, you do have AOC, you do have a number of others that are just, beside themselves. And they're talking about this oligarchy stuff, which I find thoroughly amusing because they're referring to Russia. And we do not have that kind of a system. They think we may have that kind of a system, but they're part of that system because the quote-unquote few that run the government is Congress.
How many, you get 10 people off the street, and let's go to at the risk of sounding elitist, I'm going to stack it, okay? Let's go to a community where people are very well educated, all right? Let's go to Wellesley, all right? And let's pull 20 people at random off the street. And let's ask each one of those people to describe in detail how the U.S. federal government system works.
Oh, they're not going to know?
All right? And you're not going to get 3 people that describe it accurately, all right? And that's the problem, all right? That's the problem. So the other problem I see in this country, and again, I've said it many, many times, compared to other countries, especially the Asian cultures, Americans want immediacy. We have no patience.
Well, they want it before you think about it.
We have no patience. So if a political candidate comes in and says, I'm going to lower prices. And 3 months later, those prices aren't lower. Mr. Political Candidate, you are now in trouble, okay? Because A, your promise was ridiculous because you don't have the power to do it, okay? And secondly, even if it could be done, it's going to take a long time to get that done. So we're very impatient people. And what I heard yesterday, and again, nobody should be surprised at the results in those, because those are, again, Democratic areas. So for a Republican to win would have been, unusual. But they did exit polls for the folks in New Jersey and the folks in Virginia. And one of the questions was, well, why did you vote the way you voted? Meaning, why did you vote for the Democratic candidate? And the answer very often was, well, things aren't any better for me, okay? They told us in November of last year that if we voted for Trump, economically things were going to get better, and I don't think they are. Now, I don't want to argue whether they are or they aren't, okay? I don't want to. What I'm talking about is how people feel and their perception, all right? So even if they're wrong, it doesn't matter. That's how they feel, and that's how they voted.
Very important point. Last round, I had a youngster going to college, and she said about the elections, I didn't think presidents could lie. And they're like, what do you mean by that? She says, President Biden was going to forgive my student loan, and he never did.
See, you just made my point, John. Exactly.
That's why I brought that up, because the younger generation got burnt.
Exactly right.
Realizing, I'm electing a liar.
But they all lie. Every president we've ever had has lied.
And
Everyone.
And Sam, on that note, it falls down on the goddamn media. The media should say to them, if you don't forgive my student loan debt within 2 years of your term, will you resign?
Exactly. I couldn't
And the
agree with
media
you more.
doesn't have the guts to say that.
No, they
No,
don't.
because they're under their control.
They don't.
Anyway, we're going to run out of time.
Okay, you wanted to talk a little about gerrymandering, which I will make a statement. It's wrong. I don't care who does it. I don't care whether the Republicans do it. I don't care whether the Democrats do it. It's flat out right wrong. It is raw, naked political muscle, and we need to find a way to eliminate gerrymandering. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so I wasn't going to have a judgment call on any of that. I was going to discuss what actually happened.
Go ahead.
You had that Proposition 50 in California, and it passed, right?
Yep.
So now you're going to get rid of Republican areas because of how they're going to gerrymander. Because they can. However, when you take a look at other Democratic states, they've already done the gerrymandering to get rid of the Republicans.
And so have Republican states done it to get rid of Democrats.
Well,
they all do it.
I don't know that they've done it enough, because they do have more.
Maybe,
I think
but
that
they've done it. That's the point. They've done it.
And they do it by population, just like we did with precincts in Chelmsford.
It's wrong.
But in Massachusetts, they can't gerrymander anymore to get rid of Republicans because there aren't any.
Well,
now if you just wait a minute.
Go ahead.
So you have Texas that started the thing, and they were doing it because of at least the reasons they gave us publicly. They were doing it because the demographics had changed, and the number of people had changed. And so that's where they were at.
It's a lie.
They're blaming Trump for every single thing.
lie.
But one of the things that can happen, which I don't know that the Democrats are aware of, in the Republican states, they haven't gerrymandered enough. And if they gerrymander to get more Republicans, they may be able to capture more seats than the Democrats could ever think to do. I only want to make that statement.
You seem to forget.
It's an observation.
That both the Democrats and the Republicans shipped all of our jobs to China.
Yes.
They both did it. They're both, we didn't do that. Yes, you did.
And why did they do it,
You
John?
shipped all of our jobs to China, and now you're going
Right,
like, that was a terrible thing. And these people did it. You did it.
They did it, and it took place over a period of roughly 55 years. Both
And
parties,
it's not going to happen overnight to have it change.
both parties equally responsible.
Although you have a president trying to make it change
It's one of the
And
things.
now the biggest battle we have this week is Are the tariffs going to stay?
Yeah, well, I don't think they will. I think the
If
court's
the
going to,
tariffs stay, the jobs are coming back to the USA.
Well,
If
you
the
know what would be
tariffs don't
interesting?
stay,
the court's going to
We're
rule
gonna
against.
I want to know how the Texas governor,
They're gonna
because he
rule
said
against
anybody that's leaving New York City, moving into
Mm-hmm.
his state, he's going to put 100% tariff on. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you can assign anything like that.
It's ridiculous.
But they're having an issue in Florida because so many people from the liberal states are moving into their states.
There's nothing they can do about
they're
that.
not, and the arrogant attitude of many of them that are doing that. I mean, they're not even polite people.
It's ridiculous.
So this is going to be an interesting mess. Like I said, we're going to run out of time.
My prediction is the court rules against the administration on the
I'll
tariff
tell you,
issue.
politics took all the wind out of our sails today.
Yep.
Tomorrow, City Life, we got Cliff Krieger and Eileen Del Rossi.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if we can grab somebody else to come in tomorrow. So,
There you go.
time is.
I
But
won't be
even
around.
if the court rules against Trump on the tariff issues, it doesn't stop immediately. There'll be a time frame. So it could be, even if they get that ruling, and God only knows when they'll make the ruling. That's the other thing. That can be delayed. So I wouldn't worry too much about it right now, okay? But it is a concern.
Anyway, we hope everybody
Yep.
has a great day next week on Our City Life. Vivian Merrill is scheduled to come in, Paul
And we'll
Cohen
see you
after
tomorrow.
that.
Thanks for
And
watching.
everybody have a safe day.
Anytime after 20 seconds back, we're going to do it.
Turn off the lights.
Now, Facebook is still on. So that was the whistle.